I am outside Octopus Garden, and as many of you know, social networking is becoming a great big deal here, especially in the US. It's taking off with Facebook and Twitter. I mean, it's almost worldwide now. So I kind of wanted to get the perspective of someone who chooses not to use the internet, owner Ron here over at Octopus Garden. And so I'm going to go inside and get some insight why he purposefully tries to stay away from using the internet.
Yeah, I'm Ronnie Lander. I own Octopus's Garden, just a little aquarium store.
Okay, so I've heard that you do not like the internet.
I'm not a big fan of it. I used to use the internet years ago, and I've stopped using it subsequently. I don't even have an email address. I never plan on having an email address. It's quite challenging to live in this modern world without having email addresses. I can't even get a Staples card. Most of the things with the internet can be used for good or bad. I think that if you're a very unusual person, you can find more unusual people than you, and it tends to push the bar a lot further. So if you're in a say body mutilation or something like that, and people are saying your closer local friends are saying this is a little unusual, maybe you should curb it a little bit, you're going to find a whole group of people encouraging you to do more of this. So it tends to push kind of a little more deviant activity even further. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It doesn't really matter. You know, as a libertarian, I believe you can do anything you want to yourself. You're more apt to find people like that on the internet, but are they going to be really your close friends, or are they going to be just kind of someone just who wants to chat for a few minutes? I don't know where the people find this time to do this chatting. If they're truly busy and working and productive, they probably shouldn't have much time to do this sort of chatting. But I guess they do find the time to do it. Well, the first thing you should be aware of is everything's being monitored. That's the most important thing to be aware of. Every Google search, according to the head, I saw the lady who I think her title was Chief Information Officer for Google, and she said on television that every single search has been recorded and monitored. And we can go back to any search done from the very first ones in 1987 in Palo Alto, when Google first started, that they're there. So, and a complete documentation of everything that's ever been done by you on the internet exists. Good things and bad things. You may be embarrassed later on. You may want to run for public office and have some comments that may actually derail you for that. So you have to be aware that you are being recorded and monitored completely while you're out there. Besides that, it's just a waste of time overall. You know, the local businesses are not doing as well as they could be because there's so much internet things happening now that it allows people to start things, but to really become successful is very difficult because when you try to compete with Amazon.com, you can't. Amazon.com's lost $6 billion. And how do you compete against a company that has massive public financing and you're just a little upstart and they're losing money? You'll never get to the point where you can ever make money. I see opportunities diminishing in America. I hear that the internet is giving lots of opportunities, but I don't see many of them. I don't see big internet firms anywhere. I've seen a lot of small businesses close, and a lot of it has been the internet. Some are surviving due to the internet, but many are not. So use it when you need it, but I wouldn't dwell on it. I call people bubbles now, and people just float around in their little bubble. And once in a while, their bubbles will collide, but they seem to be self-absorbed. I'll walk up to a customer, and they'll be on their telephone or something, and it's just a different environment than it used to be. People are very self-absorbed. With things like YouTube and MySpace, it's all very narcissistic, in which I am the center of my little realm, and everything around me, it's all out there to serve me. And if I'm not interested in it, I'm not interested in it. And it's very hard to deal with people face to face when they don't want to talk to you. They'd rather talk to someone in a little G4. My girlfriend opened a Facebook account with me in it. It's okay, you know. She spends hours and hours and hours on it, and it really hasn't generated much, you know, business or anything like that for us. I'm not a big fan of it overall due to the fact that every time I'm with other people, they're going on their Facebook page and they're looking at their Facebook rather than having a conversation, or at family dinners. The younger members of our family are, all twittering away rather than having conversations with the people who are sitting right next to them, their family, the people who actually really love them and care for them. It's hard advice to people to how to live, you know what I mean? But they're living more shallow lives, I think. While they may have 700 and something friends, I don't think they've had coffee with even half of those 700 friends. So while they claim to be friends, they're really not. And true friendships are becoming more and more difficult, and family relations are becoming more and more difficult. While it's true that you can connect with your old high school buddies a lot easier and stuff like that, you're most likely not going to build those great interpersonal relationships with the next person who's maybe your neighbor, who's your actual physical neighbor. Most people don't know their actual physical neighbor, yet they have 800 friends. Maybe they should become friendly with the people around them a little bit more, and social internet and with those people who are really their closest people, rather than maybe people in Taipei who you play checkers with.